Man, you know something?
Oh, here we go.
Like, this is shocking to me because my experience with the Lakers, like, I've lived a very privileged life. 9th grade, my brother was drafted by the Lakers. At that time, Jenny Buss's dad owned the Lakers.
Dr. Buss.
One of the most respectable sports figures ever that you ever want to meet. You're talking about recruit players. You're talking about a guy who had the heartbeat of the team. Nick, what was the conversation when Magic Johnson had a problem with the coach?
Well, an advisor goes to Dr. Buss and says, we got a huge problem. Magic's a young player now. Magic, they'd won a championship already with him. Magic's in year 2, I believe, year 3. Says, we got a huge problem. Magic doesn't like the coach. Magic wants the coach fired. Dr. Buss, the legend says, chuckled and said, what's the problem? I guess we're firing the coach. And just move. And by the way, when you now look back, who should? Paul Westphal or Irvin Magic Johnson. Right. It was as easy of a decision as Dr. Buss knew it was back in the early 80s.
Yeah, and back as far as I can remember, they have been a class organization. He had his heart and thumb on the pulse of the league. Veteran players would come there and potentially play for less for the Lakers. I mean, he had a roster of superstars. I mean, it was just normal for the Lakers to be able to get star players and to be able to play. As far as changing the coach, decisions like that, we knew who the boss was. And he always did things in a very, very classy, and that's the reason how they won all those championships. You can't get the number of stars that they have for the last 50 years and say, what was it? Was it just LA? No. The Clippers were losing right across the street, across town, before they got in the same building. No, it's more than the city. And it was about Dr. Buss. And now if you're talking about who is interviewing the coaches, Linda Rambis. Now, to me, I would be upset if Kurt Rambis, her husband. So this is not a male-female thing for me.
And there's an element, C, where there was another report that whomever the new coach is going to be might potentially be pressured to have Kurt Rambis of a 65-164 career coaching record. Kurt Rambis, who in his 2 full seasons as a head coach won 15 and 17 games for the Minnesota Timberwolves, pressure to have that man, to have Kurt as an associate head coach on his staff. So why would maybe Linda Rambis be sitting in on these interviews? Why would an advisor of the owner be sitting in on head coaching interviews? One quick question, Monty. What are your thoughts on my husband as one of your assistants? This is ridiculous. And you said it's not a man or woman thing, and it's not, except for in this regard, it can be. And when it comes to Jeannie Buss. And I think my track record of being on the right side of issues will give me a bit of a wide berth on this. When a man passes on his sports franchise to his son, I think people are naturally skeptical. Does that son know what he's doing? Or is he just a rich guy's son? The dad built it, and then the son inherits it, and sometimes that son turns into a great owner, and sometimes that son turns into just the kid that inherited it. When Jeannie took over the Lakers from her brother, there was justifiably and rightfully such a celebration of a woman being in this position of power in the NBA at an unprecedented level that I think there was an element of not really peeling back the layers of, is she doing a good job? Does she know what she's doing? Because I think myself, I wanted a woman to succeed in this role. And maybe Jeannie Buss will succeed in this role. But now that there is scrutiny on her, now that we are seeing what the organizational decision flow is, Linda Rambis and Kurt Rambis and Kobe's old agent are your entire brain trust? I read yesterday, the guy I've been calling for them to call, Gerson Rosas, the second smartest guy with the Houston Rockets, he's getting interviews. Not with the Lakers, of course, no, because why would you? Not when you have the Rambis family to lean on. LeBron takes all the heat on all this stuff. I almost want to flip the question. If LeBron wasn't there, would they have any shot at one of these free agents? If LeBron wasn't there, would this organization be anything other than a team in total disarray? Because since the season ended, they appear to be a team in total disarray.
There's like a bit of justification now that we're looking back and we're hearing all this stuff, why Magic just didn't want to be a part of this anymore. It seems really messy at the top. And you have to ask yourself, what is he thinking? What is LeBron James thinking with all of this? Because he's taken a step back. At least we haven't heard anything. We all assume he wants his guy Ty Lue in there. But if that doesn't happen, it seems like, I don't know, more question marks moving forward than not.
The problem is LeBron believes he can overcome it because they haven't made a bad hire, even though the process is messed up.
Right.
They haven't made a bad hire yet. When Luke Walton letting him go, that was a good decision. That's what Magic Johnson was going to do. But Magic Johnson was also going to get rid of Pelinka. So where they're going now is not where Magic Johnson wanted them to go. That's why he didn't even give Jeannie Buss the courtesy of calling her.
Well, and I think the other reason we now know Magic didn't give her the courtesy of calling her is he's getting these emails of these two guys talking trash on him.
Of course.
I mean, of reportedly Jeannie Buss and Rob Pelinka not knowing he's blind copied on all basketball ops emails, and there's going back and forth. It's like when you text the wrong person, talking trash about that person. It's an awkward thing, tough to pull yourself out of it. Magic said, I think, man, like he said many times, I'm Irvin Magic Johnson. I don't need this. I don't need this. And so he walked away. LeBron is not in position to walk away.
Yes.
And LeBron is there. And now, because it doesn't look like they're going to hire the smart guy, doesn't look like they're going to hire a real president of basketball ops, we don't know who the coach is going to be. It's going to be, fairly or unfairly, on LeBron to convince someone to come play there. You and me can go do it. Let's go do it. Forget all the rest of the noise, and the weather's really nice, and the jerseys look cool. Like, that shouldn't be the Lakers'
You got
pitch.
the same weather for the Clippers now.
Absolutely right.
Good point.
And they have Jerry West in charge.
And Doc Rivers.
Not
But
the
the Lakers
Rambis.
have Linda Rambis.
Yeah,
So thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out more of the best clips from First Things First, or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.